This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
IWS Aviation.
Hello there, you're watching our television. This is State of Business. I am Pamudha Katugampala. We have our top stories. Export Development Board builds new partnerships for local exporters. Government expands measures to cut costs. Welcome back here with State of Business, and now let's have a detailed look at these stories. US Undersecretary for Political Affairs Victoria Newland, on an official visit to Sri Lanka, expressed her government support for the ongoing recovery efforts in the country. This was revealed during a meeting with President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. During the discussions, President Wickremesinghe extended his appreciation for the support provided by the US government during these difficult times. The discussion also focused on the ongoing discussions with the International Monetary Fund, while the US pledged to continue to support the negotiations with the aim of swiftly resolving the issues. The President outlined the measures being taken in regard to reconciliation talks with the minority parties in Sri Lanka, including the full implementation of the 13th Amendment. Discussions also focused on the ongoing efforts to combat the growing narcotics trade, with the US extending their assistance. Prior to this, a follow-up discussion on major economic reforms, World Bank's preliminary actions, was recently held at the Presidential Secretariat. This took place under the patronage of the Senior Advisor to the President on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff, Sagla Ratnayaka. The World Bank Assistance Program was discussed at length during the meeting. It includes the improvement of financial supervision and credit management, improving tax administration policy, and reducing systemic risk in the sovereign financial sector. It also includes strengthening the delivery system and targeting of social security agencies, as well as reducing policy uncertainty and increasing the competitiveness of the economy. Discussions also focused on the preliminary measures to be taken for their implementation. Senior Advisor to the President, Sagla Ratnayaka, emphasized the need to implement these preliminary measures immediately. Meanwhile, the government recently decided to revise the Social Security Contribution Levy Act to pass on incentives to deserving people. This was revealed by a spokesperson for the Cabinet of Ministers, Bandula Gunawardena, during the Cabinet Decisions press briefing. The introduction of all amendments and the preparation of a draft bill in this regard with the required advice for the drafting of laws were approved. The Social Security Contribution Levy number 25 of 2022 imposes a 2.5% Social Security levy on persons subject to taxation if annual income exceeds 120 million rupees. Automobiles and equipment used by people with disabilities that were formerly subject to the production levy under Excise Special Provisions Act No. 13 of 1989 have been exempted. This is in line with budget proposals for the year 2023. Furthermore, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has directed all state officials to control the expenditure, warning that those who violate the order will be held responsible for financial misuse. He asserted that the President, as Minister of Finance, has issued several directives to limit government expenses amidst the ongoing economic crisis. It added that any state officer who violates their directive will be held personally responsible for such expenditure. As of 27 January, the government has allocated 158.7 billion rupees via tax collection departments and other means. However, expenditure was 367.8 billion rupees for the same period, where the bulk was spent on state sector salaries, pensions and samurdhi payments. Gunawardena also said that 377.6 billion rupees was paid to service debts from funds raised via treasury bills, treasury bonds, central bank credit, bank overdrafts. In addition, measures are underway to reduce the number of state employees in all government agencies in a bid to reduce costs through a voluntary retirement scheme for all those employees deemed ineffective. Now, a high-level business delegation from the Sverdlovsk regional government of the Russian Federation recently visited Sri Lanka for a 3-day program. Vladimir Smirnov, Honorary Consul of Sri Lanka in Sverdlovsk region, led the business delegation, which included prominent business leaders from the region. The Sri Lanka Export Development Board, in collaboration with the Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Sri Lanka and the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Russia, organized B2B meeting. The B2B meeting was between Sri Lankan exporters and the Russian delegation and was conducted successfully with the participation of more than 40 Sri Lankan exporters. The Russian delegation was interested in the product sectors of cosmetics, spices and tea, seafood, chims and coconut-based products. The event was a great opportunity for the Sri Lankan exporters to network with some of the most influential business leaders in the Sverdlovsk regional government and the Russian Federation. It helped to connect and explore potential partnerships and collaborations, as well as learn more about the business climate and opportunities to expand existing trade relations with Russia. Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Russia, Professor Janita Eliyanage, initiated the effort to conduct this timely and effective B2B session with the support of Russian counterparts. The Sri Lanka Export Development Board is planning to organize more promotional events in future in collaboration with the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Russia to connect Sri Lankan exporters with the Russian counterparts. See you soon with more stories after this short commercial break. Welcome back here with State of Business. Now, the Sri Lanka Retailers Association will conduct the annual Retail Forum under the theme Redefining Retail, Future-Proofing the Forward Journey. The Retail Forum will be on the 1st of March at the Cinnamon Grand Hotel. The forum will address the challenges faced by the retail industry and foster constructive dialogue on leveraging emerging trends and navigating the economic crisis. With the retail sector among the hardest hit by the current crisis, the forum will facilitate urgent dialogue on charting a progressive course through current turbulent economic conditions. It will also explore global macro trends and how they can be best leveraged in the national context, as well as discuss sustainable operations and ensure industry stability and growth. The forum will see key discussions on the key themes such as delivering value in inflationary times. This will explore strategies such as pricing and managing consumer behavior against a backdrop of a significant surge in the cost of living. The segment on leveraging tech for retail excellence, which will look at how the national retail industry can leverage global trends including technology and applications to improve marketing, operational, talent and service delivery. Other sessions are a rapid fire session with panelists from various sectors of their retail industry sharing their experiences and insights gleaned over the past 2 years. It also includes a fireside chat on the future of retail in Sri Lanka, which will delve into insightful topics and offer a roadmap for the industry's future and sustainability. The forum features an expert lineup of public and private sector policymakers and industry experts. The forum will be conducted as a day-long session from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Meanwhile, the members of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka recently rejected the cabinet decision on an interim electricity hike with retrospective effect from the 1st of January. The Cabinet of Ministers this year agreed to implement a 75% increase in electricity tariff hike on top of a similar increase in August 2022. However, the PUCASL decided that, as per its act, the increase was not valid as there was no provision for an interim hike or one with retrospective effect. Despite this ruling, the PUCASL is proceeding with the cabinet decision of requiring public and CEAO consultation on the proposed hike and will comply with completing the process by the 15th of February. The Minister of Power and Energy, Kanjana Wijesekara, recently explained the current status of the sector and its inability to provide continuous power during the GCE advanced level examinations. Via Twitter, the minister underscored the ground realities of the situation. The Ceylon Electricity Board has outstanding payments to key organizations. These include 112 billion rupees to Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, 40 billion rupees to renewable energy suppliers, 4 billion rupees to rooftop solar providers, 80 billion rupees to private power plants, 10 billion rupees for monthly bank loan interests, and 35 billion rupees for coal payments for February. Minister Wijesekara maintains that reforms to make the Ceylon Electricity Board and Ceylon Petroleum Corporation efficient and cut down on cost, as it is a must to have cost-reflective pricing for both, are being expedited. In addition, he noted that a clear plan for an uninterrupted power supply for 2023 was submitted by Ceylon Electricity Board to Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka at end of 2022 and the other relevant authorities. Further, in a bid to overcome the energy crisis, the government has decided to equip a total of 11,219 state properties, including education, religious and other buildings, with rooftop solar panels. Now, Korean envoy Santosh Wunjinjong attended the inauguration of a new fertilizer plant in Pannala. The fertilizer plant belongs to Hyosung Organic and Bio, a Korean company operating in Sri Lanka. The Korean ambassador congratulated on the new expansion of the fertilizer plant and commended its contribution to the development of agricultural sector in Sri Lanka. Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Amaravira appreciated the efforts by Korean companies to uplift the Sri Lankan agricultural sector by establishing the first and biggest organic fertilizer manufacturing plant in Sri Lanka. This invaluable investment will not only help the farmers to reap successful results but also strengthen the bilateral economic engagement. Minister Amaravira also commended the Korean government's development cooperation with Sri Lanka and the immeasurable support given to uplift the agricultural industry. Moon Hyun Park, representative of Hyosung Organic and Bio Company, stated that this plant in Sri Lanka is fully automated like the plants in Korea, and the production capacity is 200 metric tons per day. Many countries, including Sri Lanka, are recognizing the importance of switching from chemical fertilizer to organic fertilizer, are showing interest in organic fertilizer, according to the representative. The organic fertilizer subsidy system introduced by the Sri Lankan government helped us immensely. Company representative Park hopes to reinvest all of profits from fertilizer to develop the agricultural industry in Sri Lanka. Hyosung is one of the biggest suppliers of organic fertilizer in Sri Lanka since 2008, and organic fertilizer has yielded successful results during the agricultural season of Sri Lanka. The new expansion plant of the organic fertilizer was established as a response to numerous requests from the Sri Lankan government. Stay tuned for the stock update.
IWS Aviation.
Welcome back, you're watching State of Business, and now the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on positive notes today. The All-Share Price Index gained 72.37 points to close at 9,022.38, and the S&P SL 20 gained 13.22 points to close at 2,812.75. The turnover was 1.8 billion rupees and over 67 million shares were traded. Coming up next are Forex rates. And that's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
State of Business was sponsored by
Star, Seat out. 5